So let's talk about upside a bit, but let's move to the quarterback position. This last week, I know it's preseason, but we got a chance to get a good look at these rookie quarterbacks. Let's go through, let's evaluate them a little bit. Yeah. Which rookie quarterback really surprised you in a good way and in a bad way?
I was very, actually, I don't want to use the term very, but I like what I saw from Zach Wilson.
Okay.
And we've talked about Zach Wilson on the show, and I have these, you call it hedging all you want, but it's a contrasting views where I really like the talent of Zach Wilson. I felt like he had the most upside in the draft. I felt, I don't like
that flick of the wrist throw that we like.
I don't like comparing players. I know people don't like comparing players, and I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers or he's going to be Aaron Rodgers, but when I think of just a light comp to give people an idea. Yeah, I was seeing Aaron Rodgers in the type of throws that he was making, in his mobility, just in his moxie. I really loved what I saw coming into this year, and we understood the conference, et cetera, in terms of some of the risks that were associated with that draft pick. But I really like what I saw in that preseason game, and he didn't make any big splash plays. We already knew he had arm talent, but I still love the zip that I saw on the ball. I love the accuracy. I love that he was not afraid to throw into tight windows. I loved his composure in the pocket. I really like what I saw from the offensive line, both in the pass and the run game. That gave me confidence that this offense can be balanced. And I think as a rookie quarterback, you need to be balanced. It's a little bit of a leap of faith in a first-time OC, but understanding, who this OC has studied under, I had some fair of optimism coming in. So when you kind of put all of that together, I'm not drafting Zach Wilson, and I'm talking about redrafts and best ball, anybody's game, especially quarterbacks. But,
I have him in a best ball.
Yeah, but in redraft, I'm not drafting him, but there are pieces in that offense now that before where I would not have considered, now I'm considering. You guys know I've always been on Elijah Moore. Corey Davis. And I still would take Elijah Moore over Corey Davis just because, again, getting back to that talent versus opportunity, to me, I understand where he was drafted.
Y'all can keep sleeping on Corey Davis if you want to.
Yeah, me, what I've seen with my eyes, and I know this is very subjective, but my own personal grade on Corey Davis is very, very low.
Okay.
Very, very low. So that's why I just don't draft Corey Davis. To me, the talent versus opportunity there's too big of a discrepancy there, too big a range. So I'd prefer a guy like Elijah Moore where he may start off slow, but I feel like his talent will overcome. His ability to separate, the rapport that I think he's already building with Zach Wilson, at least based on camp reports, I think that's going to be established. I think, to me, Corey Davis is someone who has a very difficult job of just separating, and for a rookie quarterback, he's going to look for that guy. And I think they're going to scheme, Elijah Moore open. But, again, getting back to Zach Wilson, he was definitely, my favorite, from this past preseason.
Yeah. As quiet as it's kept, that receiver room is not that bad.
You talking about the Jets?
The Jets.
No,
they still got Jamison Crowder too.
I like Corey Davis.
Yeah,
Corey Davis was a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah,
right? But first round not too long ago. I know it's been a long time, but he went to the Titans, who was the great quarterback they had?
Right.
What was the great offensive assistant they had? AJ Brown was just a beast to me. Like, he's just an upper echelon receiver.
But if you talk to people who I feel like they're different schools of thought in terms of that draft pick for Corey Davis, because we keep bringing up that he's a first round pick, but a lot of people felt like he should not have been a first round pick.
I got you. I'm just saying he has talent. He has talent. He has the prototypical size, and from the preseason, obviously Zach Miller likes to throw him the ball for whatever reason. So we don't know what's going to happen there, and he was their big offseason signing. If you really look at all the contracts they gave out, they gave him the most money. I like Corey Davis. I'm not saying I'm drafting him high. I'll take him at value. I'll definitely take him in the best ball. Zach Wilson, I think, is a perfect best ball quarterback, so I like that call. But I like Elijah Moore. I actually still kind of like Jamison Crowder. I don't really know what they're going to do with him because it feels like him and Elijah Moore are the same type of receiver, but we don't know what's going to happen there. And as far as the other options they have Keenan Cole, they just signed, and they have Denzel Mims, who they seem like they were not really that high on. They didn't draft him. Remember, that was the old regime. So, I'm not going to hate on Corey Davis. But anyway.
But that's how I feel about Jamison Crowder, though. It seemed like they were willing to let him go
they were.
if he didn't sign back for less money.
No, yeah, to me, I think it's not necessarily a knock on Jamison Crowder's talent. I think it's based off of their scheme. They probably didn't see him as a high value player.
Right.
I don't think that they're a team that's running a bunch of, or wants to run maybe a bunch of 3-4 wide receivers. Yeah. So maybe, or even if they do, I don't think they view the slot receiver as the ideal. So I actually see Elijah Moore as a flanker, as the outside wide receiver, and then he can kind of move around. That's more what I see Elijah Moore as. So I feel like he will be a starter regardless of the formation they run.
But Crowder has talent, you know.
Yeah,
I'll say that. We saw it just last year. So you never know what happens. You know, talent, as long as the opportunity's there, talent can show itself. But as far as the question you had with the quarterback,
that's what I was gonna say. Jets fans, we have given you your top pick.
No.
For this season.
First
New York, stand up.
Right.
First of all, let me not get on my soapbox too long. But for a number 2 draft pick, he sure is not talked about anywhere compared to the other quarterbacks in the first round. The number 2 overall pick. And there's 5 quarterbacks, and they talk about all other 4 ones except for him. So they need to talk more about.
Who surprised you though?
So that's what I was gonna say. None of them surprised me actually. They actually all looked the way I thought they were gonna look. And I'll take it even further. Not just those first round quarterbacks, but even the Kelly Monds, the Trask, and the Davis Mills. They all look fairly okay too. Now remember, Mond was just dealing with COVID. I think he had like 4 or 5 days of practice. Yeah. So he really didn't have that many reps, but he didn't look like he was out of place. Kyle Trask did okay. Davis Mills did okay. And these are all rookies we're talking about. So they all looked good. Trey Lance, he had some high plays and he had some low plays, which is kind of where you would think Trey Lance would be. That's the reason why he's a project, you know. That's the reason he's not starting day one. But you can see what's in there. You know, you can see why they coveted him so much. Justin Fields, you saw that composure. That same composure he showed when he was at Ohio State. So, that wasn't a surprise. Trevor Lawrence, you can kind of see he might have been a little bit nervous, but you can also see that once he kind of settles down, he'll probably be perfect for that job there as far as being in Jacksonville. So all of them look good to me. Mac Jones, we already discussed him. Yeah. He looked pretty good. Mac Jones looked – actually, if I was to say which one looked the best, I'd probably say it's Mac Jones. He didn't run as much.
Y'all don't like how Justin Fields looked?
So, yeah. So, Justin Fields, to me, when he made those plays, number one, the plays that he made, I was not all that impressed with. One of the wide receivers was wide open.
Running play
they were against backups.
The running play wasn't that.
There was nothing
he just
special.
Ran to the side and ran in.
I just saw flashes that made me think, okay.
I saw nothing. And it changes. It doesn't change my ADP whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying. It looked the way I thought he would look.
But I didn't see any. I didn't see the Justin Fields of the collegiate days, or that's why they drafted him. Mm-hmm. He looked very average to me. The plays were very average. Again, he started to exceed, if you want to even say use the term exceed, against the backup defense. I was not very impressed with Trevor Lawrence. And this changes nothing about his ADP to me. But this is actually one of those situations where, when we look at talent versus situation, because I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. I kind of went off on that, Trevor Lawrence is the alternative to the Trey Lance if you miss out. But when I was, grading these quarterbacks coming out of the draft and then going back and watching film, I was not one of the ones who felt like Trevor Lawrence was like the easy number one overall pick. No, I did not. I felt like, I could see why they would take him as number one, but, I was hearing things that he is, this generational pick. He's like,
I didn't see generational pick either.
I saw none of that. Saw none of that. And so actually what I saw when I kind of, was reviewing his college tape was basically, at least from an inadequacy standpoint, was kind of what I saw this preseason. Again, this means nothing because number one, the plays that they ran were very vanilla and likely, and I'm fairly confident that Urban and Dan Camp and what's the OC's name?
Is it? No, it's not Schottenheimer. It's one of those Seahawks.
Yeah, he was with the Detroit Lions. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but I'm fairly sure that they were very vanilla.
Darren
and
Bevel, was it?
Yeah, Bevel. I'm very sure that they didn't show anything. So I'm not really necessarily talking about the plays, but it's even that one play to Marvin Jones. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You can. That'll probably be the last time he's able to sit in a pocket for 6 seconds and be untouched.
What?
And
he had all day,
and it was like he struggled going through the progressions, and I felt like he locked in on them, And yes, you could see the arm talent there. You know, there was zip on the ball, and it was just, you know, he was able to get it to Marvin Jones. But, you know, didn't really like that. So,
man, y'all being hard. They're rookies.
Again, I know they're rookies. What I'm
first
saying,
preseason game.
what I'm saying, though, is like that correlated to what I saw from a college standpoint.
Right.
But this goes again to the situation and opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, so number one, he's not running like, you know, Justin Fields, but
he can run though.
He can move.
run.
Exactly,
Exactly,
can run, yeah.
exactly. But he can run. So that's one reason why I liked him. I also love the offensive weapons there.
Mm-hmm.
So I still am drafting him and still have the same optimism I had before
Right.
that. So it didn't change anything.
Right.
But in terms of like people who didn't like shock me,
Yeah.
he was one. I will say this though, the way he locked on to Marvin Jones, you damn believe that to me it did change as far as, you know, how I'm going to be drafting Marvin Jones. And he's been talked about as, you know, definitely, you know, it's one of those situations where everyone's, you know, just take the cheaper guy. And I've talked about before, like, I don't believe in that necessarily. But this is one of those situations where, yeah, I'm 100% taking the cheaper guy, especially given where he's going in drafts.
Man, y'all know that preseason doesn't do nothing to me. So
I know, we know.
that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we know.
Again, they all look good to me for rookie quarterbacks, first
game,
ever NFL experience. None of them look like they were just like
Backups, though.
totally off.
They were playing against backups.
But historically, there's been a lot of instances where these rookies come in the preseason, they just don't look good.
Yeah.
You know, because it's their first time. You know, the lights. You know, they're under the lights. They're on TV.
But we felt like this was going to be a good QB class.
We did.
out.
Yeah. And so far, they're not disappointing is all I'm saying.
No.
Right,
And again, what they've done in training camps and OTAs and all the reports we've heard has way more weight and way more precedent than what is going on, you know, in preseason. I think, you know, preseason, especially that first game, I think coaches are really just saying, okay, let's line up appropriately. Let's avoid these stupid penalties. Like,
Right.
let's just get the basics down. And I love what I heard from Urban Meyer. We got to pick up the pace. I felt like we were too sluggish. I want to move at a quicker pace. I
to do that
love
Chip
that.
Kelly offense
That was
or
the biggest
something.
thing that I took from that game. We want a quicker pace.
Right.
Love hearing that from the coach.
Yeah.
I said, God, give me a warning. Please take me for the morning, so I leave more disappointments than I ever will appointments. Give a fuck about your feelings, rub it in. This your ointment can't depend on the oinker. Find your pick in the blanket.